Oh, I forgot my notebook. Hey, y'all. I forgot my notebook, babe.
Forgot it.
Yes. Can you bend down here and go get it? You're awesome. I appreciate it. Hey, y'all. Hey. Welcome to Relationship Talk with the Lawrences. Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's week is off to a great start. Listen, hump day, baby, you made it. Come on, y'all. I made it through the storm. I made it through the rain. I made it. Hey, what's going on? Y'all already know how we do over here. Go ahead, baby. Y'all know how we do over here. We all about love, positive energy, having some real raw and relevant conversations. Y'all see my husband just came. Say hey to the people, babe.
Hey.
Look, somebody got a haircut today. Look, during the pandemic, tell them, babe, during the pandemic how you learned how to cut hair.
Yeah, I had to learn myself how to cut hair. We moved to Charlotte. It was hard for me to find somebody, man, to cut it like I like it. So finally, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try something different.
Yeah.
So, believe it or not, I went to a different type of barbershop that is not the color of my skin. Well, we're close. But, yeah, I went to a Hispanic barbershop, and, hey, he did a thing, man. So,
the work.
sometimes, hey, it's okay to try somebody different. Try something different. You never know. You know what I'm saying? We get so used to just going to what we're familiar with or what we know. But, hey, you never know, man. You'd be surprised. You'd be amazed.
Yeah, he came home talking about, babe, was rubbing my shoulders and put a hot steam and massager on my face. I said, oh, so I ain't got to do none of that tonight.
Like, that was an amazing experience. I was like, oh, my God. Like, you get their shoulders massaged while getting a haircut.
All right. So, thank y'all again. Thank you so much for tuning in. So let's get into it. Y'all know, just in case you don't know, now you do. We are live every Wednesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes we'll come on where we have a topic that we want to discuss to curate conversation. And then sometimes, we'll just talk and be like, let's talk about it. What's on your mind? What questions y'all have about relationships? What's going on in life? What kind of guidance do you need? And you can always, if you need individual coaching, we offer life and relationship coaching sessions, so you can go to lawrencelifecoaching.com, schedule a session with us. Also, don't forget, we have great resources. We have books, we have e-courses, we have video trainings, things that you can do on your own time that can also be found at lawrencelifecoaching.com. Sorry, I got caught reading the comment. So tonight we are talking about sabotaging behaviors in relationships. Y'all know how we do. If you ready, go ahead and drop those fire emojis and we gonna dive in and talk about it. Let us see your fire emojis, because sabotaging behaviors are ruining a lot of relationships.
That's right.
Right? We often identify sabotaging behaviors as a me issue. Y'all know our motto is a healthy me equals a healthy we. But when you constantly got things going on the inside and you bring those over into a relationship, you are going to have conflict. There is going to be a disruption. Right? I see your fire emojis. All right, so babe, just off the top of the dome, right? What are your thoughts, or just to open it up, what are your thoughts when it comes to sabotaging relationships?
Well, right off the top of my head,
yes.
I think of, insecurities, different triggers or traumas, and we react. Because a lot of times we, dealing with insecurities it could be from a previous relationship, right? And we could come into a new relationship feeling and looking for that person to do the same things that the person in the previous relationship did. And we find ourselves sabotaging by just simply assuming, or if, for example, say you're a type of person where you're accustomed to routine, right? And the person that you're involved with, they end up, skipping their daily routine. Then it's quick to assume or feel like, okay, they run a game. I remember in my last relationship, this person, their routine start to switch up.
So triggers.
Yeah.
Sounds like triggers.
Exactly. So that's how we can, end up, sabotaging our relationship in different ways, as far as accusing someone of something and not even knowing the truth behind it.
Right. I love all of that, and we're going to dive into it. This is how I want y'all to start viewing the lives, right, with the Lawrences. The relationship talk with us. View it when we live on Wednesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. View it as a group coaching session. That's how we want y'all to look at it. Like, you in a group coaching session where you can get your questions answered. Some of y'all might be like, I want to work with y'all, but I can't afford it. Think about the questions that you have. We will answer it, right? Now, if it's layered and we feel like we can't give a direct response, then that might be a little different, because sometimes you can have questions where we need some background information, because we don't just answer vaguely. We're really thinking about it, because we take this work that we do seriously as certified life and relationship coaches. Like, we don't play with people's lives. And there's a lot of people out here playing with people's lives, and we don't do that. So some of the things you said, what I heard was insecurities can cause you to self-sabotage in your relationship. Comparison can cause you to sabotage your relationship. I also heard about triggers can cause you to sabotage your relationship. So before we get into our notes, I want us to break down some of the things that baby just said, right? So the first thing he talked about was insecurities. So another word, and I know we don't like that word, right, y'all? We do not like the word insecurity, but here's the deal. Another word for insecurity is simply fears. That's it. Insecurity is what you're afraid of. There were times, like, I experienced insecurity in LaShawn's transition. As a woman, I did. Because I was like, okay, are you going to still want me? Are you going to still love me? I went through all of that. So that was, again, those were fears that I had, right? Where I'm like, yeah, you do kind of start to look like Luda now. That's my boy. I'm glad I always like Luda. Get out the way. Right? Somebody said, what about when you, scroll that down for me, baby. Yeah, you're going to be the mover. You got it kind of far away from it. What about when you feel like you just want peace, and what does it mean when you get easily irritated by this person? Oh, that could mean a lot of things. We ain't at Q&A yet, so just hold on. We're gonna get to Q&A. We like to get out our thoughts to curate the conversation. So insecurities. So I gave y'all an example. For me, and there's been plenty. I think a lot of us have fears. We'll freely talk about our fears, but we will camouflage our insecurities. So let's talk about that, babe.
Yeah. And hey, we do that a lot, right? But a lot of times when we try to camouflage like different insecurities, is we give excuses for it, right? We give excuses, or we try to blame it on the other person, blame different situations on the other person, something that they may be doing. And we so quick to throw blame instead of just saying, look, I fear this, or I experienced this. So it is a form of insecurity for me. And just having that conversation with your partner, and just letting them know. Because a lot of times if a person doesn't know your insecurities and you're constantly like popping off at them about different things, then as we're talking about, that's a form of sabotaging, right? Instead of just saying, look, this is what I fear, this is what I'm secure in this area.
But so I still struggle with this right here.
When you do certain things, it kind of, brings my insecurities in, right? And so I'm kind of, fearful in this area. And it's okay to have those type conversations. It's like my wife was saying, like, we are so quick to shy away from, that word insecurities, that we don't want to admit it. We want to say, well, I'm not insecure. It's just they're doing this or they're doing that. And that's why I'm reacting the way that I'm reacting. But in reality, it could be a form of insecurity. So that is where we need to try to check in with ourselves and really, think of the situation and think of times before, because a lot of times it's something that has happened in a previous relationship or, a previous experience that you had that causes you to feel the way that you feel.
And someone on TikTok, I'm sorry I can't see y'all name. I'm 40. These glasses are just cute, but I got on contacts. Being able to talk to your mate about what makes you feel uncomfortable. Absolutely. And that's one of the things that we help couples do. Be like, listen, you can't shy away from the uncomfortable conversations. When you're in a relationship, that should be a sacred, safe space for the both of you, right? So for like one example, and we've talked about this, it goes into safeguarding your relationship, but it also has a lot to do with vulnerability and transparency in relationships, which helps prevent sabotage. LaShawn and I are very transparent about a lot of things, but y'all don't know everything because there are certain things that should only be kept between a couple, only should be kept between two individuals within their marriage, right? So, and another thing too, when you think about what bothers you, right? Like even the person that was like, I get so irritated by this person. Okay, where does that, we got to learn how to coach ourselves through certain emotions and certain feelings, right? Why do I feel this way? Where does these emotions derive from? What kind of conversation do I need to have? Right? That's it. And so when we go to our partner and this is how you can get help with dealing and support with dealing with those fears, aka insecurities, is being vulnerable. I like to say, take the bra off, take your top off, be vulnerable and say, babe, I recognize this is a me issue. Because oftentimes we will make new people pay for what people from our past have done. So if you coming into it, let's say you got out of we see this a lot. Let's say you got out of an abusive relationship, whether it was physical, emotional, spiritual, or psychological. All of that is a form of abuse. Let's say you come out of a relationship and that's your experience. Now you dating somebody new, but you never healed from the abuse, the triggers, the traumas, the everything that took place. You didn't heal. You might have had some time by yourself. Like, listen, when y'all talk to people, especially those of you that are single, when you meet somebody and they be like, oh yeah, I've been single for like 5 years, but what have you been doing during that? What have you,
right.
Y'all can't hear us on TikTok? What have you been doing during that time? Have you been doing your healing work? Have you been investigating your patterns, your behaviors? Have you been really intentionally working on becoming a better you and healing from those things of your past? Right? So that was insecurities, aka fears. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. If you don't deal with your insecurities, if you leave whatsoever you sweep under the rug today, you will trip over tomorrow. So if you don't shed light on it, your partner won't know how to support you. Thank you,
Y'all
baby.
Thank
you. Your partner won't know how to support you. Both LaShawn and I have communicated times within our relationships where we struggle with insecurities, and it's always uncomfortable. But that's where you know how you can help your partner you know how you can help your partner become more comfortable being vulnerable with you by affirming them. Now, it's not your job to heal that area, but you can help your partner by affirming them. So, for example, my background, my past from childhood trauma, all of those things, that trauma ignited fear of abandonment and rejection for me, right? So there will be times I would pop off and sometimes you got to just be like, ooh, my insecurity is showing. And I would go off on LaShawn and he would bark back at first, until he realized, okay, something I did triggered her. Something happened. What did I do? Not making it his fault, but we're assessing. And then he was able to identify, okay, that's a part of your past that still hurts. So let me affirm you. Like my thing was people leaving, right? Just being taken advantage of, people leaving. Like my dad I experienced an absent father. He was inconsistent in my life. You know what I'm saying? So LaShawn was able to say, okay, I have to give some affirmation to my wife in this area right here, right? And that's why it's also important to learn each other's love languages. Like with me, it's words of affirmation. I'm a word person. I'm a writer. I'm a speaker. That's what I do. So I love words. Like, yeah, we can spend time, honey. You can buy me gifts. But if you speak nice to me, honey, you can get whatever you want. All right. So insecurities, aka fears. Can y'all type that in the comments? Insecurity, aka fears. Don't shy away from the word insecurities, right? We all have them. Some can mask it better than others, but we all have them. Insecurities, aka fears.
Right.
Okay, now, babe, I feel like I done told on myself. Can you tell on yourself about something with insecurities that can help the people?
I knew that would come. She don't be by herself.
Y'all, I believe that transparency heals.
I
really do.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. Like I can say for myself, I know when we first got together, I had an insecurity. One of my insecurities, big time insecurity was her, end up leaving me to be with a guy, right? Because almost, most of the people that I were involved with were bisexual. Whenever there were times that we broke up, they would go, across the river. So,
Across the river.
you know what I'm saying? So they'll go and dibble and dabble and things like that. So that was one of my things. Like, so when I would see her, befriending guys or being cool with them or whatever the case may be, I'm like, hold on, like,
What's going on here?
what's going on here? Like, y'all, it's too friendly. Like, hello, and not to it was a struggle too at the beginning because we were private, so that was also a struggle because I was kind of in the background, so it pushed them insecurities even more because I had to be in the background, so they could be around, be out and around in her face, but I was nowhere to be found. So that really enhanced my insecurities that caused a lot of sabotaging in a relationship because I would just pop off and just throw her on everybody. You know what I'm saying?
He's right.
So that was a major struggle. It really was. So yeah, there were a lot of times I think I got kicked out the house because I was accusing her of people. Okay,
like if this is who you think I am, then get out. Why are you with me? Y'all, we used to argue bad. I told y'all.
So it was terrible. It was really terrible. So I will say like that was one of my insecurities, not feeling like I was enough. Basically,
ooh, ain't that good?
Not feeling like I was enough. And a lot of times, that's one of the issues that a lot of people, believe it or not, bring into relationships, feeling like you're not enough. And when we go into these relationships, feeling like we're not enough, then guess what? We're constantly looking over our shoulder. We're constantly wondering, like, are they going to be with somebody? Like, they're going to find somebody else? Or they befriending this person over here that they work with? They talk about them a lot. What's going on with this? You know what I'm saying? So we start assuming and thinking, okay, I already know what's going to happen. So we already done put in our mind, okay, so this is going to happen. This is what they doing.
Got a whole storyline, honey.
You know what I'm saying? You done created the whole scenario of what is going to happen. And from that...
Thank you, Nay.
That's where the arguments come in, the accusations, all types of things, man.
And so y'all know insecurities or not dealing with your insecurities can lead you to sabotaging your relationship. I saw a question that someone asked, how do you deal with someone or deal with a partner who has those abandonment issues? The first thing you can do is affirm them. Depending on what it is, like if you're with someone who feels like everybody that love them or everybody they love, they lose, then it can be affirming them. The second, like just remind them, baby, I'm just letting you know I ain't going nowhere. I'm not those other people. I can't tell y'all how many times. I can't tell y'all, I feel like it's fine. Oh, you talking about that. Thank you, baby. You're awesome. So we can see the rest of the comments.
Yeah.
I thought you was talking about move up, like I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? You literally did this in the middle of me talking.
I'm sorry, you be doing me like that. You be like, keep on.
What was I talking about? What was I saying? Okay. Were you listening? What was I saying? I'm talking to you.
Oh.
What was I saying? You don't know? You wasn't listening?
I'm sorry, I was focusing over there.
I don't know what I was saying.
Talking about the thoughts and making things up in your head.
Thank you, friend. Thank you, Shantire. Thank you so much, Trinity. Y'all were listening to me, not my husband. So we're going to work on that. Laugh, because you did it.
I'm sorry, I was trying to fix something.
So the question...
I can't do two things at one time.
He can't walk and chew gum. So somebody, I was answering the question about how do you deal with a partner who has an abandonment issue. So the first thing I was talking about was affirming, right? Secondly, your partner has to commit to the process of doing that healing work to get to the root of that abandonment. Right? To get to the root of that. So there's only, watch this, there's only but so much your partner can do when it comes to unprocessed pain, issues, triggers, traumas. There's only but so much. Your partner can support you. They can love you. They can do all of that. But they can't change your mindset. right? So when you start peeling back that carpet and peeling back those layers, as you begin to you begin to regurgitate that pain, right? And you begin to process it effectively, it will change your mindset. When you begin to affirm yourself, I am worthy, I am enough. You know what I mean? I am loved. I have prosperous and fruitful and reciprocated friendships and relationships. You know, so those are some of the things that your partner can do. And one thing that you can do for your partner. And that's another thing we really want y'all to know. Like, we can't expect our partners to be Jesus. Like, it is not your partner's responsibility, and I'm gonna yell this to the people in the back. It is not your partner's responsibility to heal every wound from your past. That is not their responsibility. That is your responsibility, friend. Your partner can be a loving and affirming, and y'all, we have seen it. Y'all know we relationship coaches. We have seen it where one partner was dealing with abandonment, rejection, childhood traumas, all this stuff, and was making up all those stories like LaShawn said. And you got the other partner that's like, I have done everything. Everything you mentioned, Carla, Coach C, I've done it. Coach Sean, everything you mentioned, I've done it. I am exhausted. We have seen that happen. And our response, the only person that we got to toss it back to is the person with the triggers, the trauma, and all that stuff. Okay, your partner is telling you they're exhausted. That they're not being insensitive to your need. They're not being insensitive to what you're experiencing. But we do want you to remember it's two people in this relationship. Yeah. Right? Because I've been that person. Had so many triggers, so many traumas. I mean, like, we did an activity one time where we had to write down our triggers. Y'all had like 2 pages. LaShawn was like, I can't do nothing. Everything is a trigger. And he's right. There was a season of our relationship where everything he did, he said, he thought, the way he moved, everything was a trigger. So when we realized, okay, you keep getting triggered by certain things, now you got to understand, this is not a we issue. This is a me issue that I'm making a we issue. I'm making a we issue, right? So the first thing you said was insecurities, right? What was the second thing?
The second thing was we talked
comparison.
About triggers and comparisons.
We hit triggers, so that's good. So y'all know some sabotaging behaviors in relationships can be insecurities. You got to deal with those. There's nothing wrong with having them. You just got to heal them. Oh, come on. It's nothing wrong with having insecurities, aka fears, but you got to heal it. You got to, whatever insecurities you have, whatever you fear, start creating. Got an assignment for you tonight. If you're someone who struggles with insecurities, right, which we all have them in some regard, whether it's your personal life or your professional life, I dare you to create a list of everything you fear. Create a fear list. And then on a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. Write all your fears to the left. And for every fear, you write a positive affirmation that begins with I am. So, for example, if you fear not being loved properly, right? Like for a long time, before I met LaShawn, I feared connecting with a partner who wouldn't cheat on me. So my affirmation became, I am worthy of healthy love. You see what I'm saying? So for everything you fear, kind of like Jacqueline Carr, what she say on that song, whatever the enemy tries to tell you that you're not, you declare and decree and say, I am that. Right? So when those insecurities and those fears get to screaming, baby, you got to pitch up. If your fears and insecurities are loud, then we got to get those affirmations to combat, to counterattack that negativity. The Trailblazer Carla, hey Antonio. Can the fear be anything that you've been feeling a while and just tucked it away? You mean the insecurity? It could be. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we understand that sabotage, some forms of sabotage can be insecurities. Also unprocessed triggers, right? Then we talked about comparison. Let's go there, baby.
Yeah. And, comparison, like I was saying, like that goes back to your previous relationships, right? Mm-hmm. And, I'm guilty of it. You get stuck in the experiences or the things that happened in your previous relationship that you bring them over to your new relationship, mm-hmm. right? So you're looking at different signs, you know what I'm saying? Like they say, the red flags. So you're looking at different things that they may do that is a reminder of the person that you were with before, the one that hurt you before. So sometimes we see things that's not really there, right? We see a lot of these movies, right? How many movies have you seen where, especially, movies based with, relationships or infidelity or things like that, where the one person can be following a person, have a PI on them, or going through their phone and they see things and it have us really thinking that they are cheating. It have us thinking that they are up to no good, right? And then come to find out they getting together with this person to plan a surprise party for their spouse. You know what I'm saying?
You done ruined the party.
But you done ruined the party because you're so focused on catching them in something because your ex cheated on you, and now you find yourself in a situation looking crazy, because, dang, I just assumed this, so I done messed up my whole party because I done fought both of them for, thinking that they were cheating on me. You know what I'm saying? Or they were sneaking behind my back. So it's really important that we pay attention to these things when we get into our, new relationships and things like that. They always say don't bring, baggage over to your next relationship. But we do a lot. Okay, we really do. And it doesn't matter. I mean, we have people, you've been single for 5 years, staying away from relationships because you left a bad relationship. But like my wife was saying, were you healing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what type of work were you doing? And are you coming into this relationship wide open, or are you still coming with your guard up because now, okay, you really want healing, but you got this mentality of ain't nobody gonna hurt me, so you ain't gonna get
ain't nobody gonna play me.
Ain't nobody gonna play me. So you still holding back a little bit because you're not allowing yourself to love. You're not allowing yourself to completely feel and letting that person completely love you because you're holding on to something from the past.
Yes, and let me say this. This is why it's so important to enjoy each part or each phase of a relationship. You are worthy and deserving to be dated, to be courted, to, to be engaged to be married. But what happens, particularly, we see it in heterosexual relationships too, but baby, ain't nothing beat on the LGBT community, okay? And that's us all day, right? Y'all, we move so fast, and we meet today, we go together tomorrow. No, you need time. This is why we end up we're so guarded, and we're so yes, sometimes it can be from our triggers, our traumas, and our past, but a lot of it can be too, you don't really know this person, so you don't even know if you can trust them. But y'all go together though because of your fear of being alone. We gotta slow down. Can somebody type in the comments, slow down? Right? Slow down. It takes time to cultivate a healthy connection and to curate a healthy relationship. Iman, we have gotta slow down. I get your feelings, I get your emotions, I understand. You excited. Yes, honey.
We done had 3 good conversations.
Oh, baby, we went to dinner. It was beautiful. Oh, they so nice. We known each other all of 2 weeks, honey. We go together real bad. Slow down. You always meet the representative first. Let me tell. For example, I'm gonna give y'all an example because this is a real life thing. I know. I'm the pop off. I get it. But I am also the one within the relationship. I'm the more friendly and approachable one. Believe it or not. For those of y'all who know, you know, right? LaShawn is more kind of. He'll say, hey, but he watching. He's very observant. He gonna pay attention. Me, I go talk to everybody. How y'all doing? But my eyes over here, my eyes will come here. You over there talking to that person right there, but what you can't see is that knife behind their back. Get from over there. Oh, while you was over there kiki ha ha laughing and thought she was your friend, she was giving me the googly eyes. Get rid of her. Right? You know what I'm saying? But what happens is we just dive in and we just go. And so I have this habit. I had to stop doing it because I was getting on LaShawn nerves. I'll be like, oh, I really like her. About 3 weeks, 6 weeks later, about 3 months later, I'm like, yeah, I don't really like her like that. I thought I liked her. I thought she was cool, but I saw another side. You know, you gotta take your time when getting to know people, y'all. We gotta slow down. Somebody said, how do you get the intimacy back in a relationship after multiple issues of cheating? Oh, we do infidelity recovery coaching as well. So make sure you check out that on lawrencelifecoaching.com. Babe, what would you say to that person with the question of how do you get the intimacy back in a relationship after multiple issues of cheating?
I mean, there's so many layers to that.
So many layers.
So, I mean, we can't, like, answer that in 30 minutes. But, I mean, it is a lot of layers, but it is a step-by-step thing. And just taking it you have to take it one step at a time. And you have to be open to, and that person have to be open to having the conversation and being completely honest.
That's where it starts.
Right? Because a lot of times, like, you know, back in the day, I was a cheater, right? And the last thing you want to do is to be reminded of what it was that you did. So we run from those conversations, right? We don't want to have those type of conversations because we already know that it hurt the person. So we don't want to talk about it. But it's very important to have that conversation and to talk about it. And so, you know, if, you know, the person that cheated, you know, it's important to go and have that conversation with them and let them know that you need honesty. You can't move forward if it is not complete honesty, and also understanding and listening to what it is that they have to say. What it, you know, even with questions, you know, if there was anything, were you missing anything from this relationship that caused you to step outside, right? Because sometimes we hate to admit it, but there are times where we can push a person out to cheat. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that, you know, they are excused from cheating because, you know, you work their nerves, but we can make it easier, right? If they're coming to us, having conversations, letting you know the different things that they need in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? And you kind of dismiss them, or it's not as important, or you'll get over it, or, you know, just really not paying attention to their needs. Eventually, let's be honest, what do you think a person gonna do? And because I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. The only thing I was gonna say was, and sometimes it's not necessarily that the person thought about going out and cheating. It's just while they're not getting attention or while they're not getting this, where do most affairs occur, y'all? On the job. So while you're not giving their time and the attention, this person hee ha ha smiling at work, they might not have no intentions on cheating. Might not, right? And then it ends up happening because of that unfulfillment. Not excusing it, but it's just saying, what I hear baby saying is like making sure we take accountability as the other partner of, okay, how did I contribute to that? Not saying it's your fault. You don't have to take accountability for their actions because each individual is only responsible for themselves, but being able to say, okay, but what was the part I played in that?
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Talk about the work thing. That's what I was familiar
with. Well, great minds think alike.
Right.
So another thing I was going to say before we get into Q&A, and y'all can go ahead and put y'all questions. This is the part of the conversation where you can post your questions. If we don't see it, when you type your question, go ahead and copy it so that you can paste it again, because we won't be really looking at the screen while we're answering a question. So when you type it, before you hit send, go ahead and copy it in case you need to post it again. Okay, just keep reposting it until we see it. Thank you so much. So going back to the comparison, because y'all know we talked about sabotaging behaviors in relationship. One being insecurities, aka fears, when they're unresolved. Triggers and traumas can sabotage your relationship. Comparing can sabotage your relationship. I want to go back to that because there are also cases where not only there are some cases where one partner or a partner may be comparing their current partner to their exes, but then there are times when we compare our current partner to our parents. Come on, that can sabotage your relationship. We'll go date your daddy then, okay? We'll go date your mama then.
And that's like whether it's good or bad. Your partner can do something, you know, that reminds you of something negative that one of your parents might have did. or what they might have done that triggered you or caused trauma to you, and their partner can either say something similar to what your parents might have said, or if they take one too many drinks, then they're being compared to a parent, or if they yell or kind of controlling. There are times where I have compared my wife to my mom, you know what I'm saying? And it might not have been in a good light, and vice versa. She might have compared me to her dad, and it might not been in a good light. And nothing drives you crazier than when you are being compared to a parent.
Yeah, or somebody said comparing your relationship to your friends.
Yeah.
Comparing your relationship to your pastor. Comparing your relationship to your favorite YouTubers. Like, absolutely not. Like for example, we think a lot of couples are dope. We just don't follow a whole lot of them, but we love Tab and Chance. Like, that's who we see. It's Tab and Chance, and then it's this white couple that posts a lot of funny videos, and we like, that's our twin right there. That is our twin. But like, we love Tab and Chance. Okay, like tap in. I forgot the Fridays with Tab and Chance. Oh honey, we tuned in. But I'm not over here saying, well, Chance did this, so did this for Tab, so why don't you? No. Because we not Tab and Chance. We LaShawn and Carla, right? So we gotta learn how to be able to be inspired by a couple, or be inspired by someone without trying to turn your partner into this person. Somebody has a question. My girlfriend's friend is making major inappropriate moves towards me, and I've entertained them. Help. All right, I'm gonna read it one more time so everybody can hear the question. My girlfriend's friend is making major inappropriate moves towards me, and I've entertained them. Help. Baby, if you still here, please drop a fire emoji so we'll know you're still here. First thing I would say is, I'm proud of you. Why are you saying you're proud of me? I just told you I got a girlfriend and I'm entertaining her friend. Because you acknowledge that you had an issue. The first step to getting help is acknowledging, Houston, we have a problem, right? So you took accountability. You like, yo, I got this little situation going on, but I don't really want to have this situation going on. So my first thing to you is, I'm proud of you, because you will be surprised how many people live in denial. Okay? And then I'm going to let baby give you the rest.
Well, first,
because I knew he was ready. I felt his energy.
You have to ask yourself, do I enjoy entertaining her? Right? We got to be honest with ourselves first, and then assess why you enjoy entertaining her. Okay? And then we can start from there to begin to kind of, unpack that thing. But the next thing I would say, if you prioritize your relationship and your relationship is important to you, then it's like you gotta stop it. Like you have to stop entertaining that. And in that stopping, the best thing for you to do is to be honest.
Yep.
Because trust me, the friend gonna tell. Okay? If you stop entertaining, what you think that friend gonna do?
She's gonna retaliate. Okay?
She's gonna retaliate. And
it's better coming from you.
When the friend tell it, trust me, it's gonna be worse. So the best thing to do, if you want to stop this, you got to be honest. You have to be honest with your partner about her friend, expressing interest in you, and also the fact that you entertain it, and why you entertained it, and you no longer want to entertain it. But if it's not dealt with as soon as possible, it's gonna get worse.
And then he said, I just know I'll lose my girlfriend if I come clean. And that may have to be the lesson in this experience. You know what I'm saying? You never know. We have coached clients through infidelity recovery who you would not believe some of the things that have transpired. But after doing the work with us, because they both still loved each other, they just didn't like what the person did and what transpired, but they both were willing to heal and evolve within that relationship. So, but if you have this predetermined mindset of, oh, I know I'm gonna lose my girlfriend, then you just gotta take, if that is the case, now it becomes a matter of character and integrity. Now it becomes a matter of what kind of person do I want to be. Because cheating with a friend, that is ultimate betrayal. We gotta call it what it is, right? And then you have to remember, because we forget about this chick who is ruthless, who is bad to the bone, who never comes at a convenient time, and baby, her name is Karma. We forget all about Carmen. I want to say Carmen.
Carmen.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Anybody still watching Inspector Gadget?
Right.
Is that Inspector Gadget?
Where? I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Karma is a beast. Like we gotta be careful, because that in which we sow will also be that in which we reap. You understand? So we gotta understand, like, yo, okay, this now is no longer about your girlfriend, and it's no longer about her friend. This is more about you than it is about either one of them. Yeah. Because now is, okay, do I want to be a person of character, of integrity, of honesty? What type of seeds do I want to sow?
Right.
Right? So hopefully that helped you, baby. If you have any other questions, please put it on, type it in the comments. Yep, you need to tell your partner. Somebody said on Instagram, you need to tell your partner and check that friend. And let her know, regardless if y'all be together or not, you need to let her know that is not your friend. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you what happened. But I also need you to understand this is not your friend. Okay? And then some other things that we want to talk about while y'all putting y'all questions. My girlfriend already thinks me and her friend like each other, and I've already denied it. Well, you still got to be honest. Women not crazy. Right?
Yeah, if she has already said something about it.
Yeah.
She see it.
Yeah, and you can't. Energy is real.
And the longer you carry that denial, and knowing that you have entertained it, or if you're still entertaining it, eventually it's gonna come to light. Because eventually, the friend is gonna get tired, and the friend is gonna let her know, girl, you deserve better. This person over here, they ain't about nothing. They've been flirting with me, so it can be switched to you were the one that came on to them. So that's why it's important to have that conversation sooner than later.
Oh, said thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. I'm going to come clean. Yes, do that. And remember, regardless of the outcome, right? If she stays, then you know you got a lot of work to do. And infidelity recovery is work, but it's not impossible. If she leaves, that's a lesson. And still assess yourself and be like, okay, how did I end up here? And just do that work, right? So here are some more sabotaging behaviors that show up in our relationships. You have criticism. Criticizing your partner constantly. Ain't nothing worse than a nagging partner. Criticizing your partner without celebrating them, or using the sandwich effect, right? That can sabotage your relationship. What's another one, baby?
Yeah. Defensiveness. So we already know how defensiveness works, right? Like, hey, I'm calling
Don't
you
know who that is.
to address an issue or address something with you, and instantly you're being defensive. You're deflecting. It pretty much get blowed up, right? When it's just one small concern, whether it is, oh, you left a dish in the sink. Okay, like, let's go there, right? Because sometimes we don't like being told what we're, doing wrong, right? So you left a dish in the sink. Well, the other night you left a dish in the sink. So why you telling me about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, you do that. So why you coming at me, right? So, you got to be careful with that. If your partner comes to you with a concern, and you feel yourself, it's very important to be mindful. Be mindful of your triggers. Be mindful of your body changing, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you feel yourself getting excited or getting frustrated in the conversation, then have that conversation and just let them know, like, okay, like, what's the deal? Like, let's talk about it. I apologize. And sometimes it's just easier to just go ahead and just apologize. Like, just, and then ask, what can I do better? Or, have a conversation about yourself. explaining yourself and the reason behind doing things, but don't get so defensive that it causes an argument, and then you sit here going 2 days not speaking over one issue that they came to you about because you got pissed off because it reminded you when you were a child and your mom got at you for leaving dishes in the sink, right? So now you pissed off because your partner said you left a dish in the sink.
Mm-hmm. And then somebody said too, and which was a really good point, about expressing appreciation of your partner within your relationships, and we call that affirming, right? And then y'all, let's get back to please and thank you. Where are our manners? We will say please and thank you to strangers, but our partner can do something in the house, or we don't even say thank you, or we don't even say please. Like, let's get back to the basics of using manners. And I believe that when we bring respect, authenticity, transparency, and all of those things, integrity, character, right? Did I say vulnerability? When we bring those things into our relationship, that's what helps us to cultivate healthy love, right? And curate safe spaces. And so another one is discrediting thoughts or feelings, aka minimizing. Like, if your partner comes to you and tells you how they feel about something, don't get defensive. Just listen. And watch this. You don't always have to respond in the moment. You can say, okay, affirming is, I've heard you. I appreciate you for sharing that with me. If you don't mind, I like to take some time to process it, and then update them on when you're gonna get that time. If you would give me like 30 minutes, or if you could give me the rest of tonight, I will come back. You need to give a timeline on when you gonna respond, because if they struggle with abandonment and rejection, or they feel dismissed, then you done created a whole. You know what I'm saying? It's about knowing your partner. Then we got holding a grudge. One of the things I've learned about marriage, listen, I always say this, I grew up in my marriage. I did. LaShawn and I have been together through my 30s. I just turned 40 in June. My marriage caused me to grow up. I had to heighten my emotional intelligence. I had to grow up spiritually. I had to put my big girl panties on. I really learned the art of forgiveness. We got to let that stuff go. Like, we got to stop holding on to all these little things, because what we've assessed, even in our relationship coaching, is what's ruining relationships is a whole bunch of little stuff.
Yeah.
When I say a whole bunch of little stuff, I'm talking about if your partner died today, none of that stuff would even matter that y'all argued about. And that's the mindset that we have to keep, is, does this really matter? You arguing about something and turning this into making your relationship a whirlwind, simply by holding a grudge. We got to learn how to release it and let it go.
Holding on to something that happened 5 years ago.
We got to release it and let it go.
Yeah.
And let me say this. Sometimes, and this can apply to any friendship or it can apply to platonic relationships and romantic relationships, right? Sometimes, like, even when it comes to getting closure about a matter, like, for some of us, we feel like, well, if my mama would just apologize, if my daddy would just apologize, if they would just admit what they did. I've been there. That don't always bring closure. That apology don't always do what you think it's gonna do, because then there's more. It's like, but why though? I get that you apologize, but why? But why did you do that? Right? Yes, me and mine don't go to bed angry, nor do we sleep apart. We live, love, and let go. You got to. And when we say we're gonna let something go, that means don't suppress it. Now, you also have to be honest, right? Like LaShawn, no, I don't wear masks. Like, if something is bothering,
don't want to ignore something too just to get along. Right.
Mm-hmm. Like, if something is bothering me, LaShawn, no. Like, we gonna talk about it. No, we need to talk. I'm a we need to talk about it type of person, because I've lived in a suppressed state for a really, really long time. And now I'm at a stage in my life where I don't care if this conversation makes you uncomfortable. And it don't matter who I'm talking to. It could be my mama, my daughter, my daddy, my spouse. we need to have a conversation. Like, I'm not going to sweep it under the rug. I'm not going to act like it didn't happen. I'm not going to act like you didn't say it. I'm not going to act like you didn't do it. No, this bothers me, because if I don't say anything, watch this, when you don't speak up and you're not honest, you can secretly harbor resentment. And whatever you got hiding in your heart is actually oozing into your relationship. Come on, God, that was good. Whatever you are hiding in your heart is oozing into your relationship. You think you hiding it, but it's still manifesting. Strife, come on, jealousy, envy, hatred. We can keep going. Right. Unforgiveness. We gotta be honest. If it hurt, say it hurt. Right? If it made you sad, say it made you sad. If you need to, like somebody said earlier about reestablishing boundaries, do that. You gotta communicate. You gotta talk. Anything else you want to add to that, baby?
No, we're gonna leave it right there.
All right, then we got impatience. I'm gonna just say them, and then if you wanna, lack of empathy. These are sabotaging behaviors in our relationships. But I think you can hit that. We see this a lot. We see this a lot in relationships. A lack of empathy for your partner, for one another.
But it boils down to not understanding, like not taking the time to understand their emotions and put yourself inside of their shoes. Like whether it's different traumas or things that they experience, what they went through, and they're trying to have the conversation with you as to why they feel the way that they feel when they are opening up. They are trying to be vulnerable and transparent with you, but you shut them down, or you feel like it's not a big deal. That's not that serious. Like, just because it don't affect you. Sometimes when things don't affect us, it's hard for us to understand why it affects our partner so bad, right? But we all have different upbringings. We all have different triggers, different traumas. So never play, like it's not a big deal what it is that your partner is experiencing, no matter how small it is, right? No matter what type of pain that they are experiencing during that time, even if we can say it has nothing to do with the relationship, because we see this sometimes. We see where individuals may have problems, issues with their family, and they're dealing with that, and it's causing them to be stressed, and you just don't get it. You need to get over it. You need to let that go. Like, move on. Like, they've been doing this forever, and yada, yada, yada. That it doesn't help the situation, and it doesn't make them feel safe to share their experience or what it is that they feeling. So they begin to hold it inside and not share the softest parts of themselves with you, because they feel like they can't open up to you because you don't understand it. You don't have the passion or the compassion to be able to be there and support them through it.
And we got to be careful with that, because one way or another we will develop empathy, right? Meaning tables can turn really quickly. And unfortunately, a lot of times it takes for us to go through a similar situation to be like, dang, now I see what that feels like. Like, now I see, oh, I get it now. And that's what life is about. That's why we say keep living. Right? Because if even people who lack compassion, I say keep living, because there's going to be something you are going to experience and you're not going to receive the compassion that you desire, and that's because you didn't give compassion when it was needed. So we have to be empathetic in our relationships. One misconception about empathy is that you have to have an understanding, or there needs to be some type of relatability for you to express empathy. That is false. I have both of my parents are living, right? But I can empathize with someone who has lost a parent. Come on, my child is living, but I can empathize with a mother who has lost her child. Because you don't have to have the direct experience, right? I've experienced grief. It might not be the same type of grief. So sometimes we have to, it's particularly when it comes to our relationships, tap into the emotion. You might can't relate directly to the experience, but you can relate to that emotion because we're all human. So think about if this person is telling you they feel lonely or they have an experience of whatever, you know what loneliness feels like. Right? So tap into the emotion when you can't relate to the experience. Is that good? Is this helping y'all? Y'all let us know in the comments. Then we got rage. That comes from suppression as well, right? So sabotaging behaviors in relationships. Also resentment. We talked about that. And there's so many, but the last one is stonewalling. Stonewalling in relationships. Let's close with this one, baby.
Yeah. So stonewalling, I'm like the king of stonewalling. I
used to be.
Okay. Like I know, I carry that in my core. Okay. But a lot of things that we carry in our core. That's why it's important to be mindful of your behavior. Okay. So with stonewalling, if you don't know, stonewalling is another word for shutting down. Pretty much, right? When we feel some type of way, if we have conflict in our relationships, sometimes it's across the board, right? If you're the type of person to shut down, it's across the board. Your relationship, friendships, family, whatever, right? We shut down, which means we stonewall. And sometimes you can stonewall for days and not talk, and that does not help your relationship. So that is another form of sabotaging, right? Because not only are you, stonewalling, shutting down from your partner, that begins to sink into them feeling like they can feel neglected, they can feel abandoned, dependent on their triggers, right? And their different traumas that they are dealing with. So when we walk around not talking to our partners, because the conversation went left, or we feel like they don't understand us, or it has been an argument and we don't know how to get back to where we were. So one person shuts down and the other one is 9 times out of 10 beating themselves up because there is no communication. What do you think happens in relationships when there is no communication? Because we're stonewalling, right? We gotta get it out. We gotta talk about it to somebody. So one thing you do not want to do or begin to work on, if you are a person that easily shuts down or stonewall your partner, it's okay. We tell everybody it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself, but don't let that few minutes turn into a whole day. Okay? Do not go a whole day without talking to your partner because you are upset or they rubbed you the wrong way. Okay? Have that conversation and express how you feel. Express what emotions you're feeling during that process. And what we try to tell people, like, focus on your emotions. What it is that you're feeling. Don't go into things, blaming or trying to start the conversation off coming from the argument into another argument. Just have the conversation. Express what it is that you were feeling that caused you to get quiet and get in your corner and shut down. Okay? But we advise people, like, do not go a whole day. Okay? Don't go more than a day. I say don't go no more than 2 hours without having that conversation with your partner.
Unless you at work, okay?
Yeah, if you at work, for safety reasons. Okay?
And method of communication matters too, because we have got to get away from having serious conversations through text.
Yeah, please don't. Like, when there's conflict in a relationship, do not text. Okay? Text is like what's just in it. Like, I don't know.
You cannot discern a tone. You can mind read a tone, but you're gonna misinterpret. You're gonna misinterpret.
Yep. Whatever emotion that you're feeling when you're reading that text, that's how you're
gonna read it.
Or the emotion that you assume your partner is feeling, right? Because we can assume that, well, I remember before when they text this is how they was feeling, so this is how they're feeling now. But we have to understand people grow, people change. So we can't take the same tone into every text that our partner send us. So it's important. Do not have, important conversations, or if there's conflict in a relationship, do not text your issue to your partner. Okay? I get it. It may be people that, you may be long distance, or your work schedule may be off. Just hold it.
Just wait.
And have that when you can actually have a conversation over the phone or face to face. Just put it in your little box.
Why did it end? I don't know why it ended. Keep going.
Is it an hour for Instagram? But
I mean,
just put
I
it
didn't know
in
it
your
was gonna knock
box
us off.
and just, wait until you can have that conversation at the right time. But don't text, okay?
And one of the things I was gonna add about Ed was stonewalling. Stonewalling can feel like punishment, right? Where it could really mess with the psyche of a person depending on their past trauma. So definitely be careful with that. Give me 1 second. I mean, you can talk to the people, baby. Hold on, while I'm trying to get this. I just gotta do.
But the main thing about, relationships, and to stay away from sabotaging your relationship, is to stay mindful, right? Be mindful of the emotions that you feel and why you are feeling those emotions before you begin to assume, allow your mind to wander off, create scenarios. Be mindful of why you feel what you feel when you feeling it, because like my wife said, it may be an area that you have not healed from. It may not necessarily be something that your partner has done or is doing. What they did may be a reminder, but you also need to focus and work on yourself so that you don't allow it to take you to this extreme, because sometimes it could be something so small, but because it triggered us and we feel some type of way about it, and we said we were not going to allow this or allow ourselves to feel this way, then we done went to the extreme, and it's like, okay, I can't do this no more, or I don't want to be with you no more because you just like this person I was with before, and they did it, so this is a red flag, this is a sign that this is how you are. It doesn't necessarily mean that. That's why it's important to stay mindful and have the conversation. If it is something that rubs you the wrong way, be an adult. Like, we're all grown. So have that conversation. On your job, if they ask you to do something and you don't feel like doing it that day, or your supervisor maybe, came at you the wrong way or said something that you felt like was kind of rude, you're not going to quit your job 9 times out of 10, right? You're not going to quit your job. You may go above their head and address the issue or what it was that they made you feel, but you're not walking off. You got bills to pay, right? But we're so quick to walk away from a relationship, but you're not walking off. You got bills to pay, right? But we're so quick to walk away from a relationship because they remind us of something or they did something, but we never address that this was a soft area for us. That's a little tender spot. So it's important to have those conversations with your partner. Be vulnerable, be honest, be transparent. If this is someone that you see yourself being with.
Come on.
Okay, now I'm not going to say open up and be all vulnerable to somebody that you just met yesterday. Okay? So.
All these features and new stuff that be popping up. What is going on? Like, I can't even tell how many people are up here. I don't even know where that done moved to.
It's up here.
Where?
It's the thing on the wall. I can't see it.
Yeah, I can't see it either.
But so just, be, we tell people to be vulnerable and be transparent. But also know that you're in a safe space. Okay. Now we're not saying if you don't feel safe in your environment, which we hope that you're not in a situation where you don't feel safe to open up and be vulnerable, because that's another conversation, right? That's another discussion. However, if you are with someone that you see yourself being with and y'all are determined to work this thing out and be together, it starts with being honest and transparent. Okay, and facing our fears, acknowledging our fears, and speaking our fears, because we all fear something.
Come on.
Okay.
And so we thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. We will be back live tomorrow. If you have a calendar, if you like to keep up with the people you like to follow, honey, I'm a calendar person. So if you want me to go or you want me to watch it, y'all gotta put it on the calendar. I live by my calendar. We are live every Wednesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. When you come on tomorrow, we're gonna be talking about, so tonight we talked about sabotaging behaviors in relationships. Thank you so much, Key. Thank you. Thank y'all for sowing into us as we share things, and you're sowing the gifts and things like that. We appreciate y'all. We also have a channel now on Instagram, so if you go to Lawrence Life Coaching, you can join our channel. Thank you so much, lady. We appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hugs and kisses. We really appreciate it. And so tomorrow we're talking about healthy behaviors in relationships, right? And another thing we want you guys to do is think about your questions that you have, because tomorrow we may invite some of you to come on the screen. Listen, y'all, this is not America's Idol. This is not Sunday's Best, right? This is not so you think you can dance or you think you can sing, whatever that stuff is called. You don't have to be all put together. It's just us. We just chilling on the couch having a conversation. We make sure we're presentable because we are business owners as well. But honey, trust me, we be really, now on our regular lives, honey, you might catch us on the couch downstairs in the pajamas.
Y'all know me. I'm in my blanket.
You understand? So tomorrow we may invite some of you on and say, you know what I'm saying, like come on, ask your question, or bring you on just to engage with you. Right. And so, yeah, we appreciate y'all. Don't forget, we have resources that are available for you at lawrencelifecoaching.com. You also can follow us individually on Instagram. I'm at Carla R. Cannon Lawrence. Yep, that's my whole name. Yep. And the R stands for nothing because my mama done thought I was a boy. And you can follow LaShawn at S_LaShawn Lawrence. Okay, right. So S_LaShawn Lawrence. If you can't remember, just go to Lawrence Life Coaching on Instagram. Look in our bio. Our tags are there. Yeah. All right. Thank you. And thank y'all so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Someone was asking earlier, something happened on Instagram. It's gone. But if you missed this replay, you can watch it on Instagram. But we're also going to start uploading these to our YouTube channel at Lawrence Life Coaching. Okay. Don't forget our podcast release on Thursday. So there'll be a new video going out on Thursday where we're actually going to be talking about how social media affects relationships. So we'll remind you again tomorrow. But y'all be blessed. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank y'all for all the love that y'all showing my husband, right? Don't y'all see that? And I know he look good. Don't y'all do too much with it now.
I need somebody to tell Ludo to send me some money.
Don't do too much with it for now, friends. Don't do too much with it, friends. But yeah, he does look really, really good. And then he just got that haircut, honey. So he...
Luda!
Alright, but we appreciate y'all. Thank you so much, JC Scott. We appreciate you. I think that's something you just did. We still learning. Lady B, we appreciate you for the heart. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Listen, tell a friend to tell a friend. And those of you that's in relationships, see if your partner can join in with us on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Remember, I told y'all this is group coaching. It will change your life. Bring your partner with you. Thank you so much, Seti Baby 416 for our gifts. Yay. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Well, we know folks work hard for their money, honey, so we just want to make sure now that we understand what it means, we want to say thank y'all because we can't do it without you, okay? I was telling them something before I started reading the... bring your partner with you, right? Wednesdays, Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If they are at work, share it. Say, babe, watch this if you can. Yeah. Or listen, watch the YouTube. listen, if both of you are getting the same information, you will be surprised how powerful your relationship becomes. Because when you tune into us, you're going to learn conflict resolution strategies. You're going to learn more about our stories and things that made us toxic. Thank you again, Key. Thank you so much. Unless that's a different Key. Thank you. But cheer you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cheer up. Cheer up. Key sent cheer up. Oh, that's a cheer up is what you sent. Okay, got it. Still learning. But bring your partner with you, right? Especially if you're in a relationship, bring them with you. All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in.
Y'all have a good night.
Have a great night.